Why Quit Trucking, Homeless Edition. Shout out to the subscribers that are rocking with me. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit the button. It's free. Hit the like button. It's free. Comments are free. Go ahead and drop a comment. Even if you don't know what to say, man, a smiley face, a hello, hi, that helps the algorithm. So let me jump right into it. So why quit trucking? Let me start from the beginning. Why did I want to be a truck driver? I started off in 2020. I needed to switch careers. I was in the medical field. I had been doing that for over 12 years. And the medical field, taking care of clients and the healthcare industry, started lacking a whole lot. Like everything was shut down. I wasn't making very much money. I was looking for something new, so I had to switch careers. upon me, excuse me, upon searching careers, I was looking like, what do I like? What do I like, want to do? What do I want to pursue? So truck driving popped up. You can make some good money in it. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it. There's a lot of, it's a very demanding industry. If you got a CDL Class A, 9 times out of 10, you're okay. You can get a job quickly. I'm gonna get into that too. So I wanted adventure. I like driving. I wanted to learn something that I was terrified of. 18 wheelers I used to pass all the time on freeways. Everybody has. Anybody who's been driving for a while, you got to pass them. They're slow. They're commercial vehicles. And I am homeless, so I should probably touch on that real quick. I filmed here before, one of the video. I'm still doing some work here, and I get to go ahead and use their internet, and I can go ahead and charge my phone while I'm doing some work here. I kind of picked up this, I guess, client, if you want, client type thing. I went ahead and picked that up at Lowe's, Home Depot type hustle. Oh, you need some drywall put in, you need some siding put in. I work for cheap, here's my Class A. I've been responsible for $1 million of freights. I'm not a thief. I'm not going to steal from you. They know that I live in my car. So I am homeless, but I live in my car. So, follow along with this. I have other videos as well for you guys to check out. Watch this video first, then watch the other ones. Kind of explain stuff, and some of the videos go into even greater detail. Nonetheless, what brought me into trucking is this money, the financial freedom. I don't have to pay rent anymore. I get to drive. I like to drive, and then the adventure and seeing all of the United States. So, I knew that I wasn't going like I never driven anything bigger than a Toyota Tacoma. Mostly driven small cars. Kind of feels like a little go-kart. You just zoom in and out, no big deal. With a commercial vehicle, they're huge, man. Freightliners are 8'6" wide, 13'6" tall, 53-foot fucking trailer. They're long, 80,000 pounds roughly. If you're running a lightweight condo, you could run a little bit heavier because your cat will. It all adds up, but the end cab weighs less, so you can put more in the box, and that's more in the trailer, right? So I was looking forward to all that, and started doing my research. Like, okay, what company do I want to go with? I mean, if you don't have a CDL Class A, and you don't want to pay for a private school, what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to look for mega carriers that are willing to forgo the price that you would take for your license, so that you could forgo that, and then you can go ahead and work for the company for, let's say, a year, and they'll drop the charges. Like you get it for free as long as you work for a full year. So I was looking at that, and I really wanted good training. I wanted to make as much money as I can with good training, but I was willing to sacrifice the amount of money that I'd make for good training. So I did my research, I did my due diligence, and I found a place. And first thing that I would tell anybody is call a recruiter. Now, there's a lot of stuff that you need for that. You know, you need to have your full birth certificate, not the small version. You need that full one. You have the social security number. Probably nowadays with 2023 going on, you need a real ID. You need to go to your DMV, and you're gonna have to get your permit. Like, I didn't even know that. I thought like before 2020, you could show up there, and then they could prep you on getting a permit. No, nowadays you got to do something different. You got to learn that stuff. You got to get your permit first, and then talk to them. At least with most companies, right? So I went ahead and did all that. Got my permit. Talked to a recruiter. They told me what they needed. I had to get my tanker endorsement. I was going to be running a refrigerated unit. We call those reefers in trucking. A skateboard is a flatbed, dry van is dry van, reefers can run, refrigerated and dry van, and that's most of the time they're going to use the reefer, and your hours are going to be switched up crazy. So I wanted to do it for the venture. I was terrified of standing next to one of them. Like, they're huge, man. They're really big. Those doors, like each door is like 200 pounds. And if wind blows, whoo, it'll throw you around. I've been thrown around before, it happens. So I went ahead and applied for a mega carrier. I got accepted. I had to go to the DMV. I had to, get a permit. I had to do all that stuff. I had to show them that, I was willing to make the effort, to follow up. I did OTR, and I did OTR. Well, I went to trucking school. I passed my driver's test the first time. I'm gonna go into more trucking videos later, but for the sake of this video, is just why I quit trucking. So those are the reasons what got me into it. What are the reasons that got me out of it? So with OTR, there was only a few incidences that rubbed me the wrong way. There was a few places that I delivered in that I had to back up on the service road, and then with cross traffic, had to back it in. Very tight spots, very difficult to get in, and also illegal. You're not supposed to reverse ever on a service road or a private road. You're not allowed to back up a commercial vehicle like that. There's also places that they put me in with low-hanging power lines that commercial vehicles don't need to belong. They don't belong in. Residential areas that you had to go through to get there. And, I was using my Garmin, I would pre-plan places, and, it still happens. So there were some ups and downs with that, but it wasn't too bad. Like, I could rock with it, right? I had to bring a truck in. I started doing teams after a while. Like, I had my own truck for a while. Then I started running teams because I knew there was more money. There's a lot of truckers have to say, well, why would you run teams? You make less per mile. Well, when I'm sleeping or I'm in the sleeper berth, I make X amount while the truck's being ran. And I'm somebody who can fall asleep while somebody's driving. I'm very good at teaching people. So, like, if I had somebody in my truck who didn't know how to back or didn't know how to do paperwork or didn't know how to drive very well, I could help them, And I'm not being egotistical when I say that. There's a lot of people I helped in trucking school where I was like, hey, take it easy on this. Crank all the way right here. Follow your wheels. Slowly move the wheel this way. Watch where you're going. Watch all your mirrors. See how you're doing it. Finesse it in. Do it with an intention, So that went on, and I got somebody in the truck running teams, and he didn't know how to back. And I'm still friends with the guy to this day. I was teaching him how to back. He didn't know how to do paperwork either, but he knew how to drive. So he was a steering wheel holder. My trainer who taught me, I had two trainers. I had a permanent student trainer. So I was I was just a permanent driver. I had somebody train me like that. Things didn't go so well. I have a video about that, but I had somebody after I got my license who was excellent. I'm still friends with the guy now. Like, dude, he's like my bro, man. Nothing but love. With him, he showed me how to follow my wheels. He showed me and taught me everything. Like, when I remember one night I was trying to back up into the spot and I couldn't get it, and it was because I was too tired. And me being too tired, I kept messing up. I kept thinking it drove like a car, so I was pulling right, and the trailer was moving left, and I was just sucking it. And he knows I can back up really well. And he said, "Hey, man, I'm waking you up for, every single time for the next 2 weeks, and you're backing it in. You should have had this." And I was like, okay. And more than the money, more than everything, is the experience that I wanted to gain. I wanted to be able to back that trailer into anywhere at any given time. Um, uh, did get very, very well, with doing that. Blindside, not so much, unless with blindside, I get so blindside, I just got to go out a lot, get out and look cool. And then, you know, I'm driving full sleeper berth condos, you know. When I went to regional, so like I had to drop the dude off. They told me to take the truck over somewhere else to a new state. Did that, and then I actually had my car there in the long-term parking. I go ahead and go there and get into long-term parking, and I start driving to where I need to pick up my next truck. Along the way, I was offered a job. It sounded better than what I was doing. I could be home every single night. It was in a great freight area. So I thought, if this didn't work, I'm still in a great area where I can do regional, I could do dedicated, I could still always do OTR. It was no big deal. If you have that experience and you're driving, basically at the time like $180,000 vehicle, and you have good schooling, credited schooling, you got a good experience, you're gonna be okay. And I was out there for a while doing OTR, so I knew that I'd be all right. So I got offered a job, and one of the first, like starting off, just like anything, it was all good, right? I thought like, okay, the money's gonna be good. The people, I'm doing night driving, and then I'm coming home, around 5 or 6 in the morning. Sometimes a little bit later. It all depends on how things work. But I was very used to OTR, where my backing was literally when I went to a truck stop and I was taking a shower. I was going to a truck stop or a rest area, and I was sleeping for the night or sleeping for the day. Hours were changing with OTR running refrigerated. You're not going to get the 12 to 6. I'm running, basically from 4 in the morning till whenever, and I had to shut my clock off. And there's times at 2 o'clock in the morning I'm dropping off, and then the very next day I got to pick up at like 3 p.m. It's all over the place. But nonetheless, that regional and being home every single day, and it's not dedicated, but some people had dedicated routes, and there's over 50 accounts on this thing. And that's when I had to reverse down service streets. The first time I did it, like I pre-planned where I was gonna go, and then when I went and got there, I was like, man, okay, at least it's nighttime. I can cross traffic, even though that I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna tell them to never give that to me again, or we can talk to safety over this issues, because you're not supposed to do that at all. It's against the rules. Um, Dispatch, fighting with them constantly, almost been in a fist fight with a dispatcher, being told all sorts of crazy stuff. Doing regional, there was a lot of obstacles, right? A lot of the obstacles are that they wanted me to run heavy. I was taught from almost the beginning, how to run where, okay, you don't have to pull in this way station because there's not a chase car. Oh, your trailer inspection is over a year due, so several months over what I was supposed to do. So the trailer was illegal. Okay, my clearance lights out, my brake lights out, my headlights out. I'm driving night. Overweight, all that. How to be able to run. Basically your full clock, and then if you don't have enough time to still get back, how to basically cheat the ELD, electronic logging device. How to do all that stuff. And I was like, I don't want to do any of that, man. And I have some comments on other videos. They're like, you wanted to impress drivers, not the people that count. The people, as far as I'm concerned, the dispatchers and the people that are running these accounts, like the managers or whatever you want to call them, account managers or dedicated managers or fleet managers, whatever, right? They're pencil pushers. Some of them actually said that they had CDLs, Class A's, and they used to be a driver. They didn't act like one. They act like a cyborg. I would go out there and show them a picture of my tire that's missing like this much rubber right on the right on the front of it, right? So the sidewall or the very top of it, and or things like that. Or there's an air leak, man, and this air leak is tremendous, and it's a calamity. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna end up hurting myself and hurting somebody else, and I probably won't hurt myself other than, yeah, I'm gonna get some tickets, get my license, and I don't want any of that, and I don't have any of that. I've got a perfect record. What I don't want is to hurt anybody else on the road. I'm a professional driver, so a professional driver will go ahead and be like, okay, when I'm pre-planning, I'm gonna call this place and say, hey, is this the way I'm supposed to come in? As a professional driver, I'm not going to do anything. Like, that truck doesn't do anything unless I tell it to. So pre-plan it very well. I'm also going to make sure that I don't drive fast. These vehicles are slow. Like, they're slow compared to a car. So I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna take everything easy. I'm gonna know everything I'm supposed to do before I even do it. I'm gonna stay on top of that. I'm gonna stay focused. I'm not gonna get tired. I'm not gonna get drowsy. I'm gonna make sure that I'm all legit, right? So, they're asking me to take loads that are too heavy. I'm being told by the drivers that these dispatchers are basically hinting at, like, tell AlienAscend, you don't have to worry about that way station. Tell him that the air leak's not so bad. Well, I got DOT right outside this place, right? So I've been inspected 5 times. 4 of them were literally within 2 blocks of me leaving. One was a state over. So I got DOT out there, right? The person who trained me had over 20 years driving trucks and only ever been inspected once, which is a DOT inspection, and they check stuff. I have not even been driving that long, and I've already been inspected 5 times, and I passed all of them. They're out there and they're trying to catch truckers running hot and everything else, and I'm not running hot. I'm looking good because I take everything serious, and negligence does not make it better. So saying, oh, I didn't know that I was overweight. Well, did you stop at the first scale? Did you scale yourself in? Did you scale yourself when you were leaving the place? What can you provide to prove that? Because if something happens, if it takes you longer to stop because you're overweight and something was to happen, you're responsible. And if something really bad happens to those people that you crashed into, then you're facing criminal charges. And that's the bottom line. So a lot of these accounts, man, they were different than OTR. I got tighter spaces. I have less room. In OTR, there was a lot of times that I didn't have very much room, but I got it in there, and it's no big deal, right? Now it's even worse. It's tighter spots. It's you know, I got to drop my trailer off and then move 2 of our company trailers out of the way, then pull one in, take one to a drop yard, then grab this one. Now this one's empty. I'm taking it over here. Then I still got 2 other ones, right? So I really wasn't used to it. So this is me taking accountability. The accountability is literally that I wasn't used to that much backing. I was definitely not used to any rule breaking. The rule breaking was very high, and I couldn't roll with that. But on top of that, I'm backing more. They're tighter spots. I'm having to do a double, triple hook. Drop this one, grab this one, move it out, grab this one, drop it to a drop yard, do this. Oh, now I only got 2 hours on my clock. Okay, well, I'm shuttling trailers now. And I started getting on my dispatcher's nerves about, like, hey, I'm not taking this because there's an air leak. I'm not taking this because the clearance light's out. We fix those problems, I'll take it. and they started giving me really crappy routes, like, just shuttling trailers for $15 an hour, basically. You know, they're gonna go ahead and connect. And I got videos that go into more detail. It wasn't directly $15 an hour. It was shuttle trailers. For every trailer you shuttle is $15, but it took you at least an hour. It's buried in drop yards where you have to get a yard dog to move the other trailers for you to connect to the one that's yours. And you're not allowed to connect. You can't connect to anybody that's not your company. It's illegal. And they would tell you all that, like, tell the yard dog to move it. Well, I can't make anybody go faster than they want. So I would go ahead and tell them, like, hey, I'm trying to get to this one that's third down. Move these, let me sneak in, bobtail, grab this, and get the hell out of here, stuff like that. And then the inspection stickers on the trailers were always bad. So, when I started complaining about this stuff and I wasn't rolling with it, I was making a lot less money, and I was also not very favorable. So this adds to why I quit trucking. I end up leaving that company. I have another video that goes into that, but just bear with me. And the next company, I thought I did my due diligence. I thought I did my checking everything out. Everything seemed good, man. I was like, all right, look, I'll go with this. Now I'm getting paid hourly, so now you can't screw me over and tell me that I'm shuttling trailers. Like, if it takes over 2 hours and I can document every action, why I waited for 2 hours and everything like that, at least I'm getting paid good. So now you can't play with my money. So I thought. So with this company, if I thought things were tighter and harder, this company was way worse. They literally, like, no space to back in. I'm able to do it, but it's very difficult, and I was getting really good at backing in. I mean, I was already good at backing in, but now this is incredibly crazy. Overweight, not just by 1,000 or two, like the other company did, and I would tell them no. This one's over 10 or 20,000. So, like, I take it to a CAT scale, and my vehicles were, weighing, basically over 90,000 pounds. And I could barely move it, right? And then I could also barely stop. And I'm driving at night still, so I'm home every single day. So, I would complain about that. Like, I'm not taking this, I'm not doing this. Same thing, air leaks. Okay, I got a flat tire. Let me wait for roadside. Take a very long time, if at all. If they even showed up, they did show up. Well, now I missed my window. Okay, let me talk to night dispatch and tell them I'm gonna be late. Oh, now that they're closed. So it was just basically just a cluster, if you get what I'm saying. So that went on for a while, and then they were like, okay, we know this driver is gonna be legit, so let's only give him legit routes. So it started being 2 or 3 hours of just local deliveries, and they had nothing else. So local deliveries being paid a little more than $27 an hour, that's not going to cut it. I can do that on DoorDash. I could do that on Uber Eats on busy times. Or I'm better off not even driving trucks and doing that full time. And sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. But the bottom line is they didn't have enough work for me because I was being legit. And I had all sorts of stuff, man. I had 2 pistols pulled out on me from other drivers. Constant arguments of what are you doing sliding your tandems while you're on the scale? Get the hell off the scale. Let me go on there. What are you doing? At nighttime driving, pulling into a truck stop. There's tons of people parked illegally. They're solar powered drivers. They only drive in daytime. I drive day and night, and I prefer night. Tell you the truth, they'd be blocking off entrances and exits, and when they're doing that, I got to and because I had to use the bathroom or I had to go get something to eat, something small. I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. Now I bring my own lunch. Now I go ahead and I'm not pulling in there no matter what. When I get a blowout and they do like, hey, pull to the next Loves. No, I'm going to bend this rim driving over there, And then on top of all that, there's a great chance that I'm not going to be able to get out, and I got to pound on somebody's door. And when I'm pounding on somebody's door, those are the times where somebody pulls a pistol out on me, and they don't want to answer. They're like, "What are you doing knocking on my door?" They don't know. They're trying to be safe. And I got videos that actually talk about when that has happened, why it has happened, and most of the time it was dispatch fault, like telling somebody to move their vehicle so I can grab an empty trailer and get the hell out of there, you know. But so why quit trucking was literally because I was asked to do illegal stuff. Now I have videos about this, and where people, I got negative comments. Why are you crying about that? I would never hire you as a driver. I'm somebody who is right. You know, I worked very hard to get my Class A. I worked very hard for the endorsements I have. I worked very hard to get my like pass my my inspections. I keep everything legal, but I'm the bad person. How could I ever be the bad person when I'm only following the rules? There are a lot of people out there that don't follow the rules, and I've seen it firsthand. There's a lot of people out there that have messed up their license, and they got to work for foreign people that are not from America, work for them, and when they're working for them, every way station they duck and dive. If they ever got pulled over, they'd probably find out that they don't even have a Class A, but they're driving a commercial vehicle. There's a lot of stuff that's messed up in this industry, and I'm sure that there's some companies out there that will take good care of you. But at this point, I I don't have the time to find out who's good and who's not. I've already wasted a lot of time trying to do that. And to tell you the truth, the last two companies I rolled with are bad. The OTR company, they weren't bad. I did have some issues and stuff like that, and maybe I got to roll with it a little bit longer. But the regional ones where you come home every single day have all been horrible. Now, I want to give a shout out to all my subscribers. I want to tell you to smash the like button. I do have my Cash App if you want to show love and you want to bless me. It's the same as my YouTube name, AlienAscend, and I ask that you rock with me. Thank you.